What a wet day across southeast Texas and southwestern Louisiana. Parts of the area anyway. Now there was some areas like here in Beaumont we didn't see very much. Now we're getting some sprinkles and light rain now, but our Roofing 911 Skycam network up in Jasper, skies are overcast. Had over 2 inches of rain today across much of the lakes area. Some welcome rain there, cool those folks off. You can see overcast conditions across the lakes right now. And of course, we started out this morning in the 70s, got up only into the upper 80s in the lakes area to around 90 for highs, and 2 inches of rain pretty out on average for the lakes. Not much in the Triangle, but Liberty County, parts of Hardin County, some 2 to 4 inch rains today. Big rains fell. Port Arthur had a good little shower this morning. Our Roofing 911 Skycam network down in Port Arthur, sponsored by Market Basket. Port Arthur just really missed a big thunderstorm earlier that passed over Taylor's Landing, went around Sabine Pass off to the west and southwest of Port Arthur. So that upper level low trough that's been on top of the area the last few days, right on top of us this evening. Everything kind of rotated counterclockwise and kind of missed the Triangle, which we'll talk about coming up in just a moment. But there was some big rains across parts of the area, that's for sure, especially in the lakes and in parts of Liberty and Hardin counties for sure. Not much though. Had some pretty good rains this morning in Orange County, around Orange itself. And speaking of Orange, our Roofing 911 Skycam network there. Boy, it's nice to see these temperatures. In fact, there's some low 70s right now up in the lakes area. Big rains here today. Clouds, they went from 88 degrees to 72 in a hurry up in Jasper. Orange had some rain this morning, nothing too terribly heavy, but of course they had the big rains over the last night, and you see partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies there. Now here in Beaumont now, we're getting some light rain and sprinkles. That's about it. Things are winding down and we're stabilizing, so the rest of the night should be fairly quiet across southeast Texas. Now as we head toward daybreak, we'll have a chance of showers mainly along the coast and offshore, some thunderstorms in the mornings. That boundary will be near the coastline, not the front, but the outflow boundary from earlier. Our Roofing 911 Skycam network here in Beaumont, nice 77 degrees under overcast conditions, some sprinkles falling in Beaumont now. These are just the remnants of the heavy storms earlier in the lakes area and across portions of Liberty County. Everything rotated, and we'll show you that in just a moment. Counterclockwise, that happens on occasion where if you have an upper level low right on top of you, a lot of times when the storms develop in the afternoon, everything rotates around that. Kind of like picture yourself in a tropical system, eye of a hurricane, where you get nothing, everything's around it. That's kind of what happened here locally today with that upper level low. We see that from time to time, not a lot, but we do see it from time to time. I'm a slick interstate out there, some light rain falling outside our 12 studios. Our Roofing 911 Skycam network, sponsored by Mid-County Plumbing. A little light rain, see the drops falling there, nothing too terribly heavy, and things will be winding down as we head over the next, let's say, next hour or two. Things will be winding down as we've lost heating. We've stabilized quite a bit across the area, and of course we showed you Lake Charles earlier. Let's take a look at your weather headlines now. Kind of an interesting forecast tomorrow. The last couple of days here in the Triangle, at least, we have just not had much sun at all. The clouds have kept us more stable, so we've seen fewer showers in the Triangle compared to areas that have gotten sun. But some scattered storms are still possible tomorrow because the dry air, the lower humidity, the drier air really doesn't get here till tomorrow night. So if we can get some heating tomorrow, and that's a big if, a few scattered storms may pop up. Really not the lakes. The drier air is coming in there quicker, but the Triangle, some scattered storms possible if we can heat up tomorrow. Otherwise, that weak front will work in tomorrow night. That's going to lead to a nice Sunday and Monday. The little bit lower humidity, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies, and no rain coming up next those 2 days. That'll be nice. Or if you have any weather questions, you can text us at 409-749-9302. All right, these temperatures are really nice for the end of August. Look at that, 70s. In fact, last hour it was 71 in Jasper. Some cool readings tonight. Some upper 60s, not out of the question for lows in the lakes tonight. 78 Orange, 76 Port Arthur. There's that light rain and sprinkles over Beaumont to around Vidor. Very light stuff. Another patch up in Hardin County as well. So what happened today, and we see this occasionally, not very often, we had an upper level trough. Of course, remember it's been to our north the last couple of days. Right on top of us today, and it's a low level in the upper levels of the atmosphere. The mid and upper level circulation was right over the triangle. So once the showers got going this morning, everything was moving in a counterclockwise direction. Didn't see much in the triangle. Doesn't happen often, but on occasion it does. And that's what happened today. In fact, we had thunderstorms earlier today around Deweyville to DeQuincy. Those worked to the northwest into southern Jasper County, southern Tyler County, back around into Liberty County, back to the southeast, and gave that big storm to Finette we had earlier today. By the way, Finette had right at 2 inches of rain too, so everything just kind of rotated around the triangle. So if we can get some heating tomorrow and the dry air is not coming in until late in the day, a few scattered storms will be possible, especially from Interstate 10 southward coming up for tomorrow. Right now it's 81 Lake Charles, 85 Houston. The heat continues across west and southwest Texas. 97 Del Rio, 91 in Abilene and Childress, 93. Up in Oklahoma City, some 80s over to around New Orleans. They had some scattered showers and thunderstorms as well across portions of southeastern Louisiana. Of course, some mid-90s out over West Texas. That's where the heat's been over the last couple of days due to the lack of rainfall mainly out there. So pleasant temperature-wise, really is. Of course, we got the clouds. We've had a lot of rain across the area today, except here in Beaumont and Mid-County, Vidor area. Nothing today as far as rain, except right now. Of course, we're getting the sprinkles and light stuff, but I'm talking about the heavier storms we had earlier across the area today. And we'll see, of course, a less chance tomorrow. All right, there's the upper level trough sitting right on top of us. There's the front. It's pretty much stalled out along Interstate 10. The real dry air, though, is still way up to the north. North Texas, northeast Texas, that's where the dry air's at. It'll be tomorrow night before that gets here. So that's a reason we'll carry at least a 30% coverage of storms tomorrow if we can get some daytime heating. If we don't get any heating tomorrow, we have a lot of clouds like we've seen the last 2 days, we will get nothing tomorrow except maybe right along the coast and offshore as that dry air moves in. And once it does, we'll see no rain at all for Sunday or Monday, and certainly looks like lower humidity too. Be very, very nice. Notice how clear it is. North Texas, the Panhandle, West Texas, a lot of dry air in place at the present time. You can see that on our moisture map here. The areas in green here, kind of painted in green, that's where the deep moisture's at. We have plenty of that still. See the dry air still way up to the north. So it'll be tomorrow night before that gets here. So, you know, a little bit of sun tomorrow afternoon as that dry air is working in. Some scattered storms will be possible. Certainly not the coverage so that we've seen over the last 2 days, that's for sure. See what I'm talking about? Right over the triangle, that purple shading there, that's the main core of the upper low. You see it in the winds. Look at that. That's why the triangle didn't see much rain today. Everything rotated around. And we see this on occasion. We talk about it from time to time in the weather department. You see that occasionally, not often, but it happened today. We had the storms develop along the coast. They worked northeast, they worked to the northwest, then they worked back around, and they got back down to Finette and eventually moved in to Sabine Pass. The front to our northwest will work on down throughout the day tomorrow. Notice still, even by tomorrow evening, still quite a bit of moisture from I-10 southward. It'll be tomorrow night before that drier air works into southeast Texas. Look at Sunday, much drier air works into the area as well as southwestern Louisiana, not only for tomorrow but into Monday as well. High pressure in the upper atmosphere is going to start building in too next week. It's weak though. It's not a strong ridge of high pressure. We've seen that all summer. We've had ridging either overhead or close by, and it's been weak ridges. Nothing real strong, that's for sure. But notice the moisture's coming back. That's right. Moisture's coming back again. So no rain Sunday or Monday. Few showers possible by Tuesday and a better chance Wednesday. And with this flow, believe it or not, another weak front's going to work down from North Texas on Wednesday night, Thursday of next week. So that means more rain chances in the forecast you'll see on the 7-day in just a moment. In fact, by next Friday, lots of moisture in place, deep moisture off to our northwest, a front in the area, scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast even a week from today. Now, rainfall, of course, we had big rains today in spots, 2 to 4 inches scattered all over the place. This is additional from late tonight through tomorrow. And notice where most of it is. Interstate 10 south tomorrow if we get some heating. Only 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 here and there. Very little, if anything, expected in the lakes tomorrow as that dry air works to the south. So the best coverage of showers and storms tomorrow, and it won't be a huge coverage, will be south of Interstate 10 toward the coastline. But if we can get some heating, we could see a few storms even as far north as southern Jasper, Newton County. The tropics, we're still in great shape there. The next system should be developing the next day or so. It's headed out to sea. No worries there. The next one way out in the tropical Atlantic now, it has a 40% chance to develop. That's a decent chance, but right now it is really disorganized, and there's some doubt in the extended forecast as it tracks a little farther south that it'll even survive. And even if it does, it should stay on a southerly track because we'll have high pressure again in about a week, week and a half over the deep south. So things are looking good right now for the Gulf of Mexico, at least for the rest of August, maybe even the first few days of September. And that's certainly some great news there. All right, futurecast overnight. It's quiet. Things will be stabilizing. A little bit light rain now and sprinkles, but that'll be dying off soon. Lows, some areas in the lakes around 70. Very nice in the morning to the lower to mid 70s in the triangle. Notice through much of the morning it's quiet, getting a few breaks in the clouds, but if there's more clouds and sun, we won't see that 30% tomorrow, except near the coastline. I still think there'll be some showers and thunderstorms developing near the coast, probably from Winnie to Port Arthur to Cameron. As that dry air comes in from the north, that front continues to work south, especially around Port Arthur, Sabine Pass, over to Winnie, Cameron. You'll have a little bit better chance of rain. And tomorrow evening, that's it for a few days. And your marine forecast, not much wind offshore either. It'll be out of the north, coming south up to about 10 knots. Water temperature still a hot 90 degrees. Now, if you're heading up to the lakes tomorrow, at fishing forecast for Sound Rayburn, Lake Sound Rayburn, low 90s tomorrow, hot, dry air coming in the afternoon. Only a 10 to 20% coverage in the forecast for the lakes tomorrow, with afternoon heating just ahead of the dry air. And for tonight, any rain out there now ending. That 30% for the triangle is for right now. Then we'll have another chance toward daybreak near the coast from Port Arthur southward. Lows will be in the lower to middle 70s. Now for tomorrow, not much of a chance of rain at all for the lakes or inland southeast Texas, but we can't completely rule it out because once again, the dry air is not really arriving till tomorrow night. Be a little bit warmer tomorrow. See a few peaks of sun. High temperatures will be in the lower 90s with a light north and northeast wind. Very pleasant in the mornings, that's for sure. All right, lower humidity for Sunday, Monday. Some scattered storms tomorrow if we get some heating. If we don't, it's not going to happen. 20% returning by Tuesday. It'll be hot next week. Sunday's up to 95. Sunday, Monday hot, but the humidity will be low. That's good. There comes the showers and thunderstorms back in the forecast. 20% Tuesday, up to a 30% coverage Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We may have to raise that coverage for Wednesday as that next boundary works in from the north, and then highs will cool off a little bit again as that next front works in. All right, let's check our phone lines and see if we have any text. Be sure you can text us a question. We'll get back with you as soon as possible. No text.